Hello everybody, it is Liam the Deaf Doom Metalhead and it's the first collection update of 2023. This is a really varied update in black metal, death metal, I think there's some grindcore in here as well, and all these bands are very different from one another. There's lots of gifts in this collection update from bands, labels and you fellow YouTubers, so we'll crack on. So the first band actually reached out to me way back in November last year, and only because of the Royal Mail strikes, this album just didn't reach me until pretty much the very last week of the year, so I couldn't really share it with anyone. And it's such a cool album. So this is a Hungarian black metal band. They're a two-piece, formed in 2010, and this is their third full-length, which came out last year, and that is the band Witcher, with, I can't pronounce the album title, but it's down there. Put out through Philosophem Records, which is a new label to me, but they have put out all their albums and it's a really, really cool label. So as you can guess, this is, well, the name itself is actually based off the writings of the chap who did the Witcher novels. So you know the TV series Witcher from Netflix, or the video game, which I was very familiar with. I loved that game to death, especially Witcher 3. That's the best game I've played in a long, long time. But this is based off not those games, but in the lore of those writings from the, I forget the name of the guy, the Polish writer. But yeah, so this is more atmospheric, but also kind of funeral doomish black metal. So it's very, very atmospheric, very slow. It's got some fast moments in there, but this is more of a melodic, very mournful kind of black metal style. It's not harsh in your face, it's a bit more... If you could picture The Witcher, I guess we'll use that as an example, and he's walking on the fields with his horse, Geralt, I think is, no, Geralt was The Witcher. I forget the name of the horse, I can't remember what it's called. But when he's in the plains walking around and it's all tranquil, but you've got that horribleness, you know, in the distance. That kind of way this music creates is very atmospheric. It's got lots of keys in there and stuff like that to make it very classical kind of vibe. And it's, yeah, it's just an amazing listen, very, very deep. Not one of those albums you can just kind of slap on, pick a track, and you'll get it. It's very much a very solid, doomy black metal album. I absolutely love it. I really do. I mean, the intro is based off Ludwig van Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. There's bits of that in there, and there's just loads going on. It's a really, really deep musical kind of experience as well. I mean, the chap who reached out to me was Roland, who's in Varag or Varag. If you know that black metal band, he's in them. He's the one that reached out to me, so thank you very much, Roland. It did eventually arrive. He sent me some stickers. There's a key ring there, a pin that's going to go on the battle jacket. So yeah, well fucking happy to get this. I mean, this is an amazing album. So if you haven't checked out Witcher, obviously I'll leave links below to everything I'm talking about today. Now this band really confused me at first, and when I checked it out I generally thought it was kind of a parody, and it is a little bit, but they are a serious band. They reached out to me to say, do you want to check out this new album of ours? They're an Ohio based death metal band, but it's a themed death metal band. So they are a death grind band. This is their debut album from I think last year or maybe early this year, I can't remember. I think it was last year. And the band is called Carte with Soup de Jour. Now this is a culinary themed death metal band / grind metal band. So they wear chef's hats. I think the singer has it looks like a waiter on a door in a posh restaurant with the book and all that. Very, very random concept, but I can't think of any other death metal band that's done it, so, you know, why not? Most bands go for the kind of gore, over the top, porno grind, all sorts of random crap, where these guys are going down the more, it's like a Gua inspired death grind band, if you know what I mean, that kind of thing. I mean, some of the song titles are brilliant, like Aborted, Eggs Benedict, Fetal Fajitas, what's one of my favourite ones, where was it? Rancid Risotto, which is basically my wife's food. I'm only joking, she's an amazing cook. But you get that vibe, and you think with the kind of cartoony artwork it's going to be a bit amateurish, and it really isn't. That was the thing that surprised me the most. This is really technical, and the guy on the guitar, who I think writes most of the music, he could fucking play. Like solos, the lead work, everything is on point. And when I watched the video of them live on the old YouTube, he's got the old headless guitar right up to his chin, shredding away on all these riffs, and it is fantastic. Really, really technical, which made it more fun to listen to. So I was expecting some really basic grind-esque kind of riffs with silly lyrics, and the lyrics are a little bit silly, I won't deny that, but I think that's what it's about. It's kind of got that, like I said, the guar aspect to it. It's silly, but it's also very musically proficient, and this really is musically proficient. There's blasts for days, vocals are good, bass work's got tons of noodling on there, and I think that's also done by the guitarist as well. So yeah, go check this out. It even has a song called Cock Pocket, so yeah, what more do you want? So yeah, Le Carte with Soup de Jour. Right, some more black metal now. This is a UK band. They're based out of Herefordshire. They formed in 2010. This is their only full length from 2015. This is a band that I found out through my friend Steve, who I follow on Instagram. He supported Consecration. He also plays in a ZZ Top cover band now, which is brilliant. If you watch that on YouTube, and really decent guitar player as well. I think he's I can't remember what guitar company he is endorsed by, but there is one of them. Or he was, I don't know the situation with that, but his name is Steve. Then there's a Mike Lewin, who also plays in the project Walls of Avalon, if you know that band. They put out an album, I think last year, that I need to check out still and pick up, but this is the band Arise from Ashes that they did back then, and this is atmospheric black metal, very, very, it's well written and also quite deep, so it's not just a simple blasty angry black metal band. Again, this one takes you on a bit of a journey. It's a long album, it's not a short one. There's a good chunk of music on this, and I didn't pay a lot for this. This is a real steal, so I'll leave a Bandcamp link below, and you can go grab yourself a copy if you want to support them, because it does cost nothing. It is very, very well done. I think Steve does nearly all the instruments on it, maybe the drums and maybe some guitar parts by memory and vocals, which I didn't realise. I mean, he's quite a multi-talented guy, considering he's in a ZZ Top band. If you watch that, he nails that perfectly as well. But he also does black metal, which is really cool to see. It's just fantastic. I mean, it's just, I think that my favourite song is Through a Winter's Nocturnal Eyes, because it's got this kind of weird melody on it that kind of carries on through the song, and it really has that kind of doomy vibe to it, and I really like that. But it's all solid, very atmospheric death metal, black metal. So if you're into that kind of thing, you should go and check these guys out. Like I say, this is their only ever release and doesn't cost a lot of money, so go support them. Arise from Ashes. Now for some modern day black metal. This came out last year, and I picked this up purely because I listened to it on Spotify and I thought it sounded the tits, so I picked it up. But I didn't feature it in my end of year list because, again, I only picked it up in December, and this one has kind of climbed the ranks. I've listened to this a lot since I purchased it, and it would probably be at that end of year list if I had listened to it earlier. This is a German black metal band, formed in 2020, and this is the debut full length for the band Bilwis, with the album Pan. There was an EP put out, I think, back in the year they formed, 2020, and this is the follow-up to that. This is put out through Northern Silence Productions, which is a wicked label that puts out some quality music. And I think there's only 999 copies of this, so there you go. A bit of a collector's item. But this, again, atmospheric black metal, but it has more of a, I don't know how to describe it. It's got a more of a modern approach to it, so it's not like Kings and Queens and all that kind of bollocks. This is a bit more harsh, a bit more fanciful. It's got lots of weird things going on. There's the fella there, Bilwis himself, who does all the instruments, vocals, guitars, bass, drums, the works on this. I don't think there's programmed drums, but I could be dead wrong. But it sounds really, really good, like really good, solidly. There's loads of melodies on this album that are really catchy. They make you hum them, you remember them, and if you can get me doing that, I'm all over it, because some black metal albums are just in your face, they're intense, and that's what they're designed for, whereas some others, they go for the melody approach and use the kind of hookier riffs, and this is what this album's all about. It's kind of catchy, hooky riffs, loads of really catchy melodies, and yeah, just sail for it. It's a really, really good album. So yeah, Bilwis with Pan. Let's have a sip of the old Jack Daniels. I bloody love Jack Daniels. Right. This one was really, really cool. So I got a message from a chap called Danny Price, who I vaguely know from the death metal band Decrepid, who are a London-based death metal band that Consecration have played various gigs throughout the years, and if you ever go to a London death metal festival, normally Decrepid are on there. or they've been on the warm-up shows or something like that. They're always there. And I've known about the name for years. I got the last release, which came out a few years ago, and I picked up. I mean, I haven't shown this on the channel yet. I've had it for such a long time, and I forget I have it because it wasn't on Discogs for ages. And that's normally how I do my videos. I use my Discogs to kind of collate my lists. And this was the re-release of their original full length. It's got the same name, Devoted to Death, that came out years ago. And this is the re-recorded version of certain tracks. There's 3 recorded tracks and then a bolt thrower cover. And it came on this kind of purpley pink shell here. And what was really cool is then Danny messaged me saying, you know, your YouTube channel, how does it work? And we got talking. And then he also runs a label called Razer Dead Records, which is what this was put out through. And he said, I'll send you our latest releases to check out, which blew my mind. And literally in a couple of days, they just turned up just before Christmas. And I now have the vinyl version of said release of Devoted to Death. And it's fantastic. Very old school death metal. So this isn't going to be polished. They're not about that. They're more... If you said they came out in the 90s, you'd believe me. Like they're very much that kind of band. They're not about the clean, polished sounding albums. It's raw, it's nasty, it's technical. It's got that groove in there, the blast, the very ultra guttural vocals. It's fantastic. And they're a good bunch of lads, and they're a fantastic live band. So if I put this here, Danny is there. He's a guitar player. I believe this chap here is the vocalist. I think they're the 2 longest serving members by memory. I could be wrong because they formed way back in 2005, so they've been going a while now. But they're fucking stellar. Really, really good band. And you've got the lyrics there, and then they do a bolt thrower cover for... I forget which one it is now. I can't remember what it's called now. I didn't write it down. Oh well, you'll find out when you look at it. But the vinyl was wild. I won't deny you that. That is the vinyl variant it comes as. Crap all over it. So you got their logo there, which I really like, that skull kind of logo. So I know my friend Roger will absolutely love that variant. But it is a great little EP. 3 recorded tracks, really savage. 90s-esque style death metal, but obviously it's new. So that was what he sent me from his own band, but then he sent me 2 of his releases that he put out, and these are really special. So the first one is a band that I imagine most people might be aware of. If you don't, you'll learn very quickly why you should. This is the Swedish band Centinex with their 30th anniversary. He repressed it for the 30th anniversary of Subconscious Lobotomy. This was their debut album, which came back out in 1990. And they're a Swedish death metal band, but not with the HM2 kind of melodic entomb kind of style. This is proper nasty death metal, really into your point, very riffy. Now this is the what's the word I'm looking for? Re-thought out artwork. That's not the right word, but that's what I mean. But what was really cool, and that's what threw me at first. I thought this was a new album, but it's not, because then the original artwork was this, which is used on the inner sleeve jacket. So that's what it originally looked like in 1990, and they're giving it a bit of a polish for the 30th anniversary edition. Now I think the bass player is literally the only original member left in this band by memory, and they've been going for such a long time, and I think they're split up and they've got back together again, and you know, and I think they're actually putting a new album out by memory. Variant for this was like a smoky marble red, which is really smart. I really like that. And then on the inner label you've got his skull logo there for Razer Dead Records. And these aren't expensive at all though. You go on his site, and I'll obviously leave a link below. These cost fuck all to get. And they're so good. I mean, this album is killer. Like riffs for days. 90s death metal, so you already know you're in for a treat. And it's just brilliant. Really, really good. And it's just fantastic. And you know, I've never checked them out before, if I'm being brutally honest with you. I knew the name, I never listened to the music. And I remember this cover, and that's what kind of put me off at first. But yeah, fantastic album. Can't recommend that enough. But not only that, he sent me one more, which blew my mind. I mean, I wasn't expecting really anything apart from maybe the EP. But this is one, I don't know if you can find this one or not. I don't think he has it on his site. I could be dead wrong though. This is a Brazilian Blackened thrash band with pinches of death metal in there. This is Wolflust with their album Satanic Megatons. This was put out in 2020 originally, I think. The band formed in 2017. This is their debut EP, and this has been re-released by Razer Dead Records, I'm assuming last year. Two-piece. You got bullet belts, you got shades in the dark, you got fists in the air. You know what you're gonna get. It's fucking brutal, and it is. It's like, if you like the band Christian, essentially it's that kind of style. Those Brazilians, when they hear Christian, they seem to be inspired, and they do the same sort of thing. And this is what that is. It's just straight up brutal, in your face, intense, blackened, kind of thrash, with the death metal edge to it, with the vocal style. I mean, the artwork is fucking insane. Look at that. How cool is that? And it comes on a very similar coloured vinyl, which is nice to see. There is the boys in a graveyard, of course, with lyrics and a collage of all their mates, which is cool to see. And then the vinyl looks like that. It's like a dark blue with a bit of marble in there, if you can see it, which you probably won't. And yeah, oh, I dropped it. So yeah, I was well fucking happy with that. So if you haven't checked out Danny's label, and you know, you knew, he also does a distro here in the UK, so you can pick up some wicked releases from him as well. I'll leave a link below, and you can go and spend your pocket money there. But yeah, thank you, Danny, for that. They were all wicked, especially that Centinex one. I spun that one a lot. Right, next gift is from a fellow YouTuber by the name of Metal Mickey. He randomly sent me this album, saying you'll like this. And he was right. I do like this band, and it was one I was actually wanting to get, but I never got round to it. So he's already done me a massive favour by giving it to me. Now, I know this was passed on from Mr. Sean Beast, so I thank you, Sean, as well, even though you probably didn't have much of a say in it. But that is the band Woad, that we're talking about, with their debut full-length album, which came out in 2016. This is a re-release through $20 Spin, because it sold out absolutely ages ago. The band are from Manchester, here in England, and they started off as a very much a proper black metal band in the vein of Emperor, in a way. It had lots of melody, lots of harshness to it, lots of energy. And as albums have evolved, I picked up their 2020 album, I think it came out, maybe 2019, I can't remember. Their latest one, basically, and that's more of a blackened crust kind of style. They're going to progress more into kind of punkish kind of style of black metal now. So they've kind of progressed their sound, and they're very much their own identity almost now. But this is in the vein of, you know, whatever kind of black metal you expect to hear, these guys do it. This is just on black vinyl, but I think there's some funky variants, like a green and black marble one and stuff like that. Insert has a picture of nature, which is typical with any black metal band to have a bit of nature in there. They all love the trees. And then you've got your thank yous there and stuff like that. Well, it might even be lyrics, actually. Who knows? I haven't really read it, to be fair. So yeah, solid album. Straight up, no nonsense black metal. I like all that kind of thing. So yeah, thank you, Mr. Metal Mickey, for that. Appreciate that, mate. Really good album. And then another YouTuber decided to send me some gifts when I bought a certain long sleeve of him not too long ago, and again, it's fucking floored me what he sent me, because I mean, Mark GUC knows me very, very well. My tastes, we are pretty much similar, apart from age, almost, in musical tastes. We both play in death metal, death doom bands. We play guitar, you know, and he's got a wicked collection of horrible, filthy death metal, which I also like. And he sent me some of these albums to check out, and all these bands I was aware of bar one. And all these releases I've never heard of before, so it was wicked. So the first one was a Spanish death doom band. They've kind of changed. They've got 3 albums, and this is the debut that he sent me, and that is the band Famishgod with Devourers of Light. This is put out for Extreme Music, which is a Spanish label. Now, their latest album I keep meaning to pick up because it's very much in the vein of Hooded Menace, whereas this isn't. This is very much a slower, more Funeral Doom-esque kind of approach. You could call it Doom Death if you're going to be really technical about it. It's not very fast, it's very slow, plods along. The lyrics are really, really guttural, very thick, heavy. Band formed in 2013. This is the debut from 2014. Reason why this band is very, very cool, it features a certain vocalist called Dave Rotten, who's been in Evulse, Putrevore, he's been in tons and tons of bands, and a very guttural approach. And I need to check out obviously the second album now to see how it progresses, because I know the third one quite well, and I know the change is very drastic actually. So it'll be interesting to hear the middle one to see if it is a bridge or they just changed it completely after this one. But yeah, Famishgod, that was really, really cool. And then he broke my V plates and finally got me some Encoffination into my collection. I love this band, and for some reason I've never picked anything up by them. I only discovered them through joining the YouTube kind of VC scene. I knew vaguely, I think I knew one of the albums, which was kind of like a green cover with a skull on it, but I always used to forget about it. I'd check it out, forget about it. But now I firmly know this is a Jason Stubbs band, and they are an American Atlanta, Georgia band, formed in 2008, and this is the second full length from 2011. This is a self-made God record, which is a Polish label by memory. Really, really cool label. And this is kind of death doom, very slow, horrible, murky, thick with the riffs. It's supposed to make you feel like on the edge, you know, it's got that bite to it. Really nasty sounding. But most people I know in the underground death metal scene would know of Encoffination. They're quite well known. And yeah, I'm well happy to have that. And that now makes me have to buy other Encoffination albums now, just so I don't have just the one. And then he also sent me, I mean, this was one that surprised me a lot, because I showed the band's debut full length in my end of year list. And then I looked on Discogs and found they have an EP, and I thought, oh, wouldn't mind having that. Forgot all about it, and then this appeared. So this is Ferum with the Virgence EP. Now this is an Italian, I think they're now based in Estonia, death doom band that formed around 2018, and this is their debut EP from around then, which was put out through Everlasting Spew Records, which is an Italian metal label that everyone likes. And this is brilliant. I mean, I already like Ferum, and it's a female fronted guttural vocal style, which you would never know she's female when you listen to it without knowing that. And then when you listen, you see her play it, she puts all this energy into it, writes all the music for the band as well. It's just fantastic. I think her name's Samantha, I can't remember. But she's a wicked vocalist, and the riffs again, Ferum got wicked riffs, very catchy. They're slow, they're doomy, they're horrible, but they also have that, they pick it up in paces and make it that death metal style. It's just fantastic, and it's a band well worth checking out. Their full length is brilliant. Massive step up from this, but this is still equally as good. So yeah, well happy with that. And then he added 2 vinyl records just to make the package even more prettier. And again, Mark is a legend, he really is. I mean, everyone's a legend at sending me anything ever. But you know, Mark knows my taste really well, and this is another one that I really enjoyed. This is the band Fatalist. They're a California-based death metal band that exclusively use the HN2 Swedish-style death metal tone. They very much play that way as well. So I could tell you this is a Swedish band, you'd just say, oh yeah, I can hear that. They're not, they're American, but they do have and play exactly like you'd expect a Swedish death metal band with the HN2 guitar tone to sound like. They formed in 2006, and I believe they have split up since this release, which was released in 2016, which was their last ever release. It's put out through FDA Records, which are a German-based label by memory. There might be other labels involved, but again, it's just big riffs, it's nasty, it's heavy, it's fast, it's great, and the cover's wicked as well. I love all that kind of thing. Kind of khaki green is one of my favourite colours for things. Like my kids always say, oh, your favourite colour is black, because I always wear black. It's only because it's slimming. But my favourite colour is actually khaki green. So there you go. Yeah, Fatalist, I love that. And then the icing on the... I said that was the icing on the cake, didn't I, ages ago. This was just the end of it, and it's brilliant. I have no posh words to use. And I think, by memory, he did show this on a video and hinted that he was going to send it to me, but I completely forgot about it. Because I never expect anyone to send me anything. I don't think people should send me things. I never think like that. And I completely forgot about this, and when I opened the box I was like, oh yeah, I remember it. And I remember him showing this. Now this is the band Godless, and this is their second EP by memory. I can't read it, but it's down there. This was put out through Misako Una Oho Records back in 2016, and this is a Chilean death metal band with a kind of black metal edge to it. And they formed actually in '97, and this is only their second EP from 2016. So all that time, I don't know when the first one came out. That was a long fucking time not to put out any music. It's crazy, but this is wicked. Very fast, very aggressive, it's angry. It's Chilean death metal, so it's already brilliant. The Chileans do brilliant death metal, and you know, this is great. There they are there on the inlay, and then you got your thank yous and that there with lyrics. And this is an EP, so what's cool about this vinyl is the one side is the EP, and then the B side is etched. So I like that a lot. So you got the oh, it's terrible today. You got the record there, and I'll see if I can get it to work, because this is one of the best etchings I've seen in a long time. I'll see if I can get it there on the lights. Look how fucking cool that is. You got the goat devil things there and big old book. It's just wicked, absolutely wicked, and it took me surprised when I saw it. I love looking at it, just glare at it. Surprised this isn't the cover though, to be fair. So yeah, really cool. Thank you, Mark, for that. As you know, you're a legend. As is everybody in this video. Is a legend. Absolute legend. And I hope you've enjoyed it. I will re-sleeve that later, because I'm not very good at re-sleeving. So yeah, thank you for watching this video if you got to the end. This is all stuff you can check out below, so please go and check out all these bands mentioned if you're new to them. Show them support, go on their band camps, go and buy their music, all that kind of thing. That's what all this is about, supporting the band. So if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you're new, I will leave links to all sorts of wizardry around my head, and also please like the video to let YouTube know I'm alright. Please take care, and I'll look forward to speaking to you guys in the comment section below. Cheers.